my anger story. I'm sharing with you my story as part of Clean and Clear with the intent of letting you know that negative emotions are part of life and that it is our responsibility to do something about it. I just want to let you know that I'm human too, and I like to invite you to also share your anger story. Hi, my name is Martha. I'm a clinical sexologist with a doctorate in human sexuality, and I'm from Eros coaching. For most part of my life, I remember the most common emotion for me was anger. I was angry about many things. I was angry about being alive. I was angry about being stuck in this human body. I was angry about being young and being dependent on the adults around me. I was angry about not knowing what the hell was going on most of the time. So just to give you an example, one of the first memories that I have was being left in the baby cot. And I was crying my head off because I didn't know the people who was carrying me. I didn't want to be there, and my surroundings were unfamiliar. What happened was that I was left with my grandmother the first year of my life, and my parents would take me from the kampong or the village that I was with my grandmother. They would take me home and wanted to spend the weekend with me. But I would cry so much that it was impossible, and they would take me back to my grandmother. Another memory that I have is being left in this playpen that is just wood, all four corners, and I was just learning how to stand. I couldn't even walk. So I was learning to stand, and I was bitten by red ants, and they were crawling up my leg, and I was crying and crying for the longest time, and nobody came. And finally, when my auntie came to find out why I was crying so loudly and for so long, she realized that I had been bitten all over my body. I think to this day, I have real aversion to any kind of bites and pain. And so this is another memory of being angry, being in this body. Growing up, I was left with my grandmother, and later on with a nanny who had two boys who did a lot of swearing. And I picked up all these and started to act all macho like the boys. And my parents were completely shocked about this daughter that they couldn't recognize. And I have a sister who was 1 year younger, and she had a different nanny because our nanny couldn't take care of two young kids. And so when I was told that this was my sister, I was really confused. Why am I not allowed to be with her? And I think this affected our relationship because in our formative years, we had different upbringing, and actually we have very different personalities as well. And later on, I was put often during the school holidays with my auntie and uncle. I was then put with a neighbor with my sister. And at some point, finally, my mom decided that we're not going to be put with a neighbor, that we were old enough that I would take care of my sister who was 1 year younger. And I remember being really angry about the fact that as a young child, having all these responsibilities and the unfairness of life. So I remember a lot of being angry most of the time. And then I entered primary school, and I remember being angry a lot of the times because I was bullied in school. I didn't quite fit in. I was weird, and I had difficulties making friends, and a lot of negative emotions were repressed and suppressed, and I didn't know how to deal with it. So growing up, I remember that I was part of even the reject group. The reject group were basically people who were so uncool that nobody in the class wanted to be friends with us. So we got together and we called ourselves the reject group. The reject group were made up of people who were really oddballs, and we would gather during every recess, and we would just bitch about people. And after a while, it was so negative that I didn't even want to be part of the reject group anymore. I rejected the reject group. And then I got into secondary school, and because I was so ugly, And I had baby fat, I had really bad acne, I wore geeky glasses, I had permed hair. I was a real disaster. And then I was called the ugliest girl in school, and really I was. And so for a lot of my life, I was angry, I was shamed, I was bullied, I was rejected, and there was a lot of negative emotions that I had. And no wonder I found it really difficult to be open, to be open to all the beauty and possibilities of life, because I was scared, I was angry, I was overwhelmed, and I was just keeping my head down, trying to live day by day. And it really wasn't when I grew up and I started making friends that I started confiding in people, and slowly things got better when I started to look better. And even my friends would tell me that they were tired of me complaining all the time, that they could sense underneath all that was a sense of deep anger. I knew this, I hear it, I didn't know what to do. And finally, even after my first marriage, I still couldn't really deal with all these negative emotions that I had picked up over my childhood, over all these years of blaming my parents for this so-called unhappy childhood, when actually in reality my parents, being human, were just doing the best they can. Finally, I came across the lingua releasing technique, and this is a technique that I'm sharing as part of Clean and Clear. It really helped me a lot. It took me many years to realize that while I was really struggling with a lot of all this negativity that I absorbed in my life, I was just simply very different from my sister. I am a highly sensitive person. I'm very sensitive to a lot of foods, and also I'm an empath. I pick up emotions that people store, and no wonder I was constantly picking up things, and I was overwhelmed a lot of times. And even as a sexologist, working with clients and supporting them, much as this I know without a shadow of a doubt is my calling to help people, I still was constantly tired. And for the first 2 years of my practice, I could hardly do anything. I would work with clients, I would go home, and I would literally collapse. I would really need a lot of time to rest. And I also suffered depression at different points of my life. And 5 years into my practice, I suffered burnout. And burnout was different from depression, and I was just completely confused about what I was experiencing. So I'm going to be sharing all these things in a book that I'm going to be writing called I Survived 7-Year Itch. You may want to check that out. And that book is not just going to be about me complaining and whining and talking about my life. It's going to be about me sharing practical tips about how to survive and thrive in long-term relationships. I'm sharing with you this story about my anger, and because I like to invite you to recognize that we're human and we pick up these emotions. How do we process them? It's so unfortunate that we don't have these skills earlier. And so I'm making this campaign because I'm truly passionate about the fact that you, all of us, shouldn't have to suffer. And if only we just knew these, then we would do better. But we didn't know better, and so we were just doing the best we can. We need to have compassion for ourselves, for the fact that we are all brave people doing the best we can with what we have. Now that we have these tools, we will do better. And by supporting each other, we will glow. We will become clean and clear. And we will be able to be the best version of who we are, and to support our community, to radiate and shine, and to do all this amazing work that all of you, I'm sure, is doing and is capable of doing. Every single one of us can transform the people, the community, the world that we live in, from our vibration, from our presence. Our presence is a present. It is a present to the people around us. our ability to stay present and not be affected by other people's emotions, our ability to have compassion beyond ourselves but to extend it to other people is such a gift that we can give to other people. And as a coach, as a healer, as a teacher, I know this because I support so many people. I see their lives transformed, and it's so important that I take the ultimate responsibility of taking care of myself. So I don't want you to feel sad for me, for the difficult life I've had. I can go on and on about my story, but I think I've shared enough about it. I want you to know that I don't blame, I don't hate my parents. I have a good relationship with them now. I have a lot of compassion for them. And I've really healed a lot of the wounds that I had in the past, a lot of judgments that I had towards people around me, especially my parents. And I respect and adore them for the fact that they are survivors. You are a survivor. You are strong. Maybe you don't recognize this, but you are. You are here, aren't you? You didn't take your life. There are people who check our life, walk around like zombies. You are taking clean and clear because you want to be better, and you are not alone. So please post a comment, post some encouragement, share your story. This is a space in which you will be held with lots of love. And if you are ever hurt, I will protect you. I will come after them because that's what I do. I take care of people. And I want to make sure people feel safe and loved. And of course, you need to take care of you too. So this is Martha of Eros Coaching. And I want to say that even though I don't know who you are, I probably will get to know you. Maybe one day I'll meet you. I want you to know that from the bottom of my heart, I have a lot of compassion and love for every single one of you.